So the National Coalition of Community Schools has various community school standards, and as a building and as a group of people who are involved in the learning process, if we look at those standards and we think about how to implement them in the school building, that to me is becoming a community school.
When people ask who's involved with the East EPO, it's really many, many different stakeholders. It's teachers, of course, and scholars, but it's our SSOs, it's our custodial staff, it's our kitchen staff, it's the University of Rochester, it's our community partners.
Everybody is a stakeholder. I think if we want to live in a society that values youth of all ages and colors and statuses, then we need to do this whole thing differently.
Not only do I care about my children, but I care about everybody else's children. So it's very important that the work be done not only for us, but for everyone else as well.
You know, the Rochester community suffers in horrible situations of poverty, and schools play a key role in improving that. So as East improves, so does the neighborhood.
As the community coordinator, I'm partly responsible for the implementation of the community school strategy. And community schooling is basically a strategy for making sure that the holistic or whole needs of students are met. And there's basically 4 pillars for my job. The first is to make sure there are integrated supports for students. So this could be not only academic, but social, emotional, physical health, mental health, and also extracurricular activities for students.
Everyone here is supportive, especially when you're new here, or especially when you're struggling. They will definitely step in and say anything you need help with, I got you. You know, anything at all, just let us know. And so that's something I want people to know.
One-on-one conversations that aren't about classwork, like your personal life, like what's happening at home, or what you do last weekend. It's not just like school.
There's a feeling that, at least you know that people know you and they know a little bit about you, and you don't have to feel so out of place.
So it's really focusing on the whole needs of the child. And the second pillar is focusing on family and community engagement. So really engaging the family members and the community into the school life.
So the community schools model does offer insight into parent engagement. Some of the conferences that we've attended, there's been specific workshops that are geared towards parent engagement.
They don't want your child here at East, they truly want the parent here at East too. And they welcome the parents, and they value your opinion, they value what you have to say, and they're listening.
I'm the homeschool assistant. My job is to work and represent parents, providing support, make sure that they get engaged in the school. My goal is to get as many parents to come to the building as possible. I also want them to be part of the decision-making process, to participate in committees.
We've seen more parents come to our FACE meetings, largely because we also coordinate with agencies, and one of our local agencies brings parents. So going and getting them and bringing them also works, right? And having interpreters there for them to be able to understand what we're saying.
And that's the whole part of family and community engagement. That's the whole part of knowing and understanding that this is my school.
And the third piece is expanded learning opportunities. So not only do schools kind of operate from the 9 to 5, so to speak, but also having opportunities outside of the school day and outside of the classroom.
It's community partners that are outside of East that work with our Vision Care program and our Teaching and Learning program and our Culinary Institute. So people sometimes think of East as a narrow group of people, but this EPO is really comprised of many different people.
I look forward to the workshops that they do. Like this time they do a little Jeopardy. They talk about financial aid. They talk about credit, how to get out of debt. They talk about those type of things, life. So who wouldn't want to come to a meeting where you're going to learn about how to do some different things and how to better your life? So it's not even about bettering your children, it's about how you better you.
And the last piece is collaborative leadership and practice. And that's really redefining what it means to have leadership and decision-making in a school that is inclusive of community voice and parent voice.
We've been much more purposeful and consistent about having parents on decision-making committees. So FACE is the decision-making committee, And Governance Council is a decision-making committee, and it has parents on it. And the East Research Committee makes decisions, and it has, so they're not just feedback, they're making decisions.
A lot of the work is to figure out what your needs are to begin with. And that's trying to ask and include the voices of the people in the school community. So that includes parents, that includes students, that includes community members, and also staff and faculty. It's including everyone who's involved in the learning process.
A lot of the partnerships are targeted so that we are specifically working only with those partners who are actually going to support us in the role of becoming a community school.
It's the East experience. The experience that you get here at East is like none other. Right.
I think a great question that people always ask is, when do you know you are a community school? And there's no organization, you don't get a certificate when you've become a community school that you can, drill a hole in a wall and put up the plaque that says East is a community school. So you become a community school when the community, the school community, genuinely both believes in and understands that process, and you actually enact some of the best principles and practices.
So you definitely see that not only graduation rates are improving, but you also see the kids are beginning to really love being here. It's really becoming a community school. You really see people embracing one another. You see families coming together. We don't have as many issues with kids as far as restorative issues. So I think in all of those things, you just begin to see the school really begin to develop and really become that community school, that model that we always hoped, wanted, and needed it to be.